Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tin Man's Corner. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I'll be continuing where I left off in The Coming of the Demon chapter in the Ghost of Southern Mountains in Appalachia by Nancy Roberts. Now, almost close to the end here, and the camera died, so I had to charge it up. So it's now fully charged, and I'm going to be able to finish this up, alright? So, here we go. The driver pulled to a stop so quickly that several of the pans fell banging and rattling to the ground. Then he started to shout about a rope and shook his fist at Livingstone. Finally, he was persuaded to drive on, but similar incidents kept up for several weeks. By now, the Livingstones and their neighbors, who had all noticed these strange events, were sure that they were the work of some supernatural power. Each day brought new and frightening phenomena. Showers of stones would strike the Livingstone house. Articles of furniture would topple over. Balls of fire roll over the floor without any apparent cause. Yeah, that would be something to be concerned about, but anyway. But most frequent was a sharp clipping noise as if made by gigantic invisible shears, which could be heard in and around the house. And crescent-shaped slits began to appear in the family's clothes and table linen. Okay, that's not good. Mrs. Livingstone and a lady visitor were sitting on the porch talking, and the first lady commented on the fine flock of ducks waddling through the yard on the way to the river. She had no sooner spoken than the uncanny invisible shears went clip, 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 and one after another each duck's head fell to the ground before the horrified lady's eyes. I wouldn't know how to explain that either. The young men of the neighborhood talked Livingstone into letting them hold a dance at his home. One boastful fellow brought his rifle and bragged about all he would do if the clipper came near him. For a while everything went smoothly, but right in the middle of one of the dances, the fellow who had been boasting began yelling wildly. There was the sound of a huge demoniacal scissors whacking through cloth. The boaster grasped his breeches, which were now flapping around the back of his legs, and ran through the nearest door. That night, after the dance was over, Livingstone had a strange dream. He dreamt he was standing at the foot of a hill looking up at a man in flowing black robes who was conducting a religious ceremony. If he's wearing black, I wouldn't say religious. He's probably doing something satanic. As he watched, a voice spoke saying, "I am the man who can rid you of the demon." He was much astonished and decided the man in his dream was a priest. So he decided to attend Catholic services nearby at Shepherdstown. He went with his Catholic neighbors, and the moment he saw the priest, he recognized the man he had seen in his dream. Tears streaming down his face, he poured out the story of his heartless treatment of the stranger, the weird chain of events that had followed, and he begged for help. Father Cahill was a big-fisted Irishman who was not afraid of the devil himself, and he accompanied Livingstone back home. There, he got down on his knees and prayed and sprinkled holy water on the threshold of the house. That would work. "Now I want you to take me to the place where the stranger was buried," said the priest. And together they went to the old cemetery. Livingstone showed him the grave, and the priest began to consecrate it. As he did so, the wind rose, leaves rustled, and small trees started to sway. But along with the wind sounds, there was another that grew and swelled until it became a dreadful sort of moan. Livingstone was terribly frightening. He looked at the dark waters of the nearby lake tossing tumultuously in a few minutes, the moan faded and the waters grew still, perhaps because they had taken back their own. After that day, there were no more signs of the demon at the Livingstone home, and Abbot Livingstone was so grateful that he deeded 34 acres of his farm to the Catholic Church. Well, that was nice of him. The deed may be seen today, recorded on the yellow pages of an old book in the county clerk's office at Charlestown, West Virginia. The land is a half-mile or so west of the main turnpike through Middleway. The soil is poured, shattered limestone rock. It's close to the surface. For many years, the foundation of an ancient house could be seen. Many have claimed to hear the hoof beats of a galloping horse there, and on dark and blustery autumn nights, they talk on a figure in a billowing cape striding toward the small chapel built on the spot by the Catholic Church and disappearing with it. Is it the spirit of the stranger returning to give thanks at being released from the earth by the priest? No one really knows. I was thinking the same thing. It might have been him. And here's a picture of when they said the demon arrived at their house. It always seems to be trying to fog. See, there's the property line, and then there's a bunch of fog. All right, that concludes another chapter out of this Ghost of the Southern Mountains and Appalachia book. Hope you guys enjoyed this ghost story. I know I did. Kind of made me spook feeling a little bit. That's going to be it for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more book reading videos like this. As always, this has been another successful installment of the Tin Man's Corner channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor. I say that's a wrap. Have a nice day, everybody.